In a quick comparison of the Duchess Meghan Markle versus Dr. Nicole in those first couple days postpartum, I think it's pretty obvious who was wearing it best. It's you, Meghan. You win. In my mind, I like to imagine that this time around, without all the cameras in her face, Meghan is lounging around in her pajamas and comfy clothes, looking, I'm sure, very similar to what I looked like postpartum. Either way, I think the Duchess Meghan is bringing awareness to some amazing things about postpartum recovery, and that's what this video is going to be all about. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Nicole. While I'm not as famous as the Duchess, I do feel a little bit famous on YouTube because I now have 1,000 followers. Thank you for all of you who subscribe to my channel. You do not even have a clue how exciting this is for me, and I am just so glad to have you here. Get back to the actual start of this video, the Duchess Meghan. I just want to talk about 3 things that I think she highlights about postpartum, and I'm so thankful that she does. The first thing that she does so well postpartum that we haven't actually seen proof of this time because she's been behind closed doors a little bit is how a postpartum body postpartum? I think I said that wrong. A postpartum body does not have to be perfect. It is not going to be the same as your pre-pregnancy body. When she came out 2 days after the birth of her son, Archie, and she was wearing a beautiful white dress, which is a bold move, knowing that you're literally bleeding, but she's rocking it, so whatever she did is working. I'm not gonna critique that. She also shows that you do have a belly after having a baby. I delivered my baby. Why would I still have a belly? Baby was like 7 pounds, the placenta was a few pounds, and I lost some blood, so that'll do it, right? Wrong. You probably gained around 25 to 50 pounds during your pregnancy, give or take. You're not going to lose all that by just losing the 10 to 15 pounds of your blood, placenta, and baby. It takes a while. Beyond just that, your uterus is actually going to take 4 whole weeks, to reach the size that it was before you had your baby. At 1 week postpartum, it's still 50% the size of it was while your baby was in it. And I don't know about you, but I had a 9-pound baby. My uterus must have been large. So it takes a while for it to get back down to the original size. And while some women are lucky enough to look very, very similar to pre-pregnancy when they leave the hospital, for most of us, this is not the case. It is okay to wear your maternity clothes after you have your baby. As you can see in this picture, even the Duchess still has a belly 2 days postpartum. So if Meghan can rock it, so can I. The second thing worth mentioning is that the Duchess and other very classy people like herself often wear heels when they are in public. Now, I'm sure that Meghan didn't go home and keep her heels on while she was nursing her baby and making her breakfast. Does the Duchess make her own breakfast? I don't know, probably not. Either way, I'm sure she didn't wear heels all day, and that's great because you really shouldn't be wearing heels. First of all, you shouldn't be wearing heels on a regular basis anyways because it kind of jacks up your posture. But sometimes there are occasions where we have to wear them. But in those first days, weeks, months postpartum, the more we can avoid uncomfortable shoes like heels, the better. And not only are they going to squish your feet probably, which isn't good if you have any type of swelling, but also they're not great for your posture. So after we have a baby, we are going to want to strengthen our ab muscles because we don't have ab muscles anymore most of the time. Even the most diligent people that strengthen their core during pregnancy have a very difficult time with core strength after having their baby. And when your core muscles are stretched out because your back is arched, which commonly happens while we wear heels because the heel is lifted, that's probably pretty obvious because you're wearing high heels. So when your heels are lifted, your pelvis tilts, the front of your pelvis goes down, the back goes up. If it were a bowl of soup, it would dump the bowl of soup on the ground. To compensate for that, we lift our chest up, we arch our back, and this is not ideal posture for our ab muscles, which we want to encourage good posture because that's going to be the easy and most effective way to strengthen our core muscles. So Meghan, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're not, but if you are, I hope that you're at home able to wear no shoes at all or something very comfortable without a heel so that you can avoid things like back pain and strengthen your core so much faster. The third thing that I think Meghan does very well is to highlight that our bodies need rest after having our babies. Now, after the birth of her son Archie, she was only given 2 days before making a public appearance, which is not nearly enough time as I'm sure she would have liked, and I hope this time around she is able to be at home and relaxing and resting a lot more after the birth of Lily. But it's interesting because in many cultures, Chinese cultures, Korean cultures, Indian cultures, Arabic cultures, all these people, they actually spend weeks to months resting at home after they have their baby. They either pay caregivers or they have lots of family come in around them. They wait on them pretty much hand and foot, bringing them meals, bringing them their baby. I had a visitor once from Rwanda stay with us, and she was like, it's so weird here in the US that all your family, like your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your sisters, they don't come and stay with you. She said literally her family was feeding her sister soup and bringing her baby to and from the bed. So her sister never even had to get out of her bed after having her baby so that she could take the time to heal. This might seem really extreme to you, especially if you live in the US like I do, because here it's like the sooner you can get up and move in, the better. And most of us are back to work by 6 weeks, maybe 12 weeks if we're lucky. There are a lot of expectations for us very quickly postpartum. You've got a swollen vagina, you have maybe pain from tears, you might have hemorrhoids, you have just done a huge event by birthing a child out of your body, and it is crazy to think that we should be up and doing all the normal things within a day or two after having our babies. So resting our pelvic floor, spending extra time in bed, sitting down, relaxing is really important. Now, obviously, if you're going to be spending a lot of time in bed, you do want to be doing ankle pumps, which is moving your feet up and down. That's just a fancy way to say that. You want to be walking to the bathroom, maybe to the kitchen to eat, which is also a very important thing that needs to happen postpartum, because you can get blood clots if you're just like still not moving. Blood is just sitting in your veins. That's not great either, but you don't want to be up and moving all the time. It's a lot on our pelvic floor. So the main takeaway from this video is that I didn't look as beautiful as Meghan after having my baby. Just kidding. That's a true point, but not the point of this video. The real point of this video is that there are so many public figures that are bringing awareness to some of the actual real things that happen postpartum, and I just want to thank the Duchess for all the awareness that she is bringing around pregnancy and postpartum, from announcing her miscarriage and the grief that goes along with that to some of the realities about a postpartum body. Thank you so much. This is a huge step forward for all of us that sometimes get sucked into social media and think that people are always beautiful, which just quite obviously is definitely not true. If you are interested in the postpartum body, you may be interested in watching this video next. It's all about 5 things that happen to our vaginas after we have babies, which I think is mostly cool, a little bit crazy, but totally normal things. Thanks so much for being with me here today. It has been a pleasure hanging out with all of you, and I will see you all in the next video.